So this is my first attempt to grow tomatoes on a terrace in London. I love tomatoes, but the tomatoes you buy in a supermarket, they're completely disgusting and they taste like rubber. However, so I decided to make my own, to grow my own tomatoes, and here are the mistakes that I've done. Um, I used a raised bed. I used an old barbecue that I actually don't use it anymore to put my tomatoes, and I've started actually with a bucket from B&Q, and this bucket cost me about £1 plus the compost. It wasn't too expensive to get it started, but this is the mistake that I've done. First of all, I put 2 tomato plants in one bag, like you see it here, one, and the other, that's the second one. So 2 tomato plants in one bucket. It's actually a bad idea because um, they don't have enough nutrients from the compost, and then they're fighting for water. I have to water um, I have to water them daily with about a liter of water, which is quite a lot. And my second mistake was that I did not I let it spread wherever they wanted. I did not prune the tomatoes, so they kind of spread all over the place. And you can see here, because they don't have, they're two plants in one pot, they're struggling for nutrients, and the plant doesn't look very healthy at all. Tomatoes are okay, I guess. Um, they're decently sized. Here I have one tomato. So yeah, they're okay, but it doesn't look healthy at all. The plant looks quite dried up, and remember, I water this daily, so that's the mistake I've done. On my second try, I put one. Let me move this boxes. I put one tomato plant in one bucket. Okay, so my flatmates don't really like the buckets. They don't think they look good, but I don't care. It costs only £1 from B&Q, and I don't eat the bucket. I want to eat the tomato. So the one tomato plant in one bucket seems to be a better way to do it. I plant them in kind of the same time, and you can see this plant here, it's a bit yellowish because they're, like I said, they're fighting for nutrients. It looks like they're dry out, but I water them daily, so it shouldn't look this bad. But this one is yellowish. Remember, two plants in one pot. However, this one looks green and healthy. And look at the tomatoes. Let me see. Let's see if I can. All right. Tomatoes also look really nice and really firm. Much better looking, if you ask me. A much better choice. I also tried to tie them up to help them grow straight. I have to deal with that one later, but one plant per bucket seems to be the correct size if you want to grow tomatoes on your balcony or on your terrace. Yeah, so it's very cheap to start. Compost is dirt cheap. It's about £4 for a huge bag, for a really big bag. And also, instead of spending £10 per pot, I just bought the buckets. It's £1 and it's great. Also, let me show you what else I have here. Okay, so this one here, it's a tobacco plant. I don't smoke. I'm not planning to dry it out and smoke it. I just planted because I think it looks gorgeous. I mean, look at the size of this leaf. As an ornamental plant, tobacco, it's absolutely gorgeous. And surprised, it's gonna. It has a flower as well. Who would have thought about that? Anyway, what really took off on my balcony was the basil and the mint. I bought the basil and the mint from Marks and Spencer. You know, they have those rooted pots you can buy for about £1.50, really cheap. But I put them in a pot, in a decently sized pot, and they mint, for example, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So if you want to have fresh mint every day, just get a bigger pot, buy it from, I don't know, Sainsbury's, Tesco, anywhere you can find a decent mint, and grow it on a bigger pot, because you will literally have mint all year round from one single pot of mint. Basil is the same. This was a basil that I kept on a kitchen sink. I kept it in a small pot that it comes. Usually they come into a really tiny pot when you buy basil. So I kept it for about a month right by the kitchen sink, and because the roots didn't have room to spread, this is how it ended up. However, on the same time, I bought another basil plant, and this one I planted into a pot, and look how great and how gorgeous it is. It looks healthy. It looks the plant looks really green, and it looks like it really it's really growing really nice. Compare with this one that it grew into a pot. So if you wanna grow basil, just invest and into a bigger pot, and you will not regret it. Like one of these pots, they cost about £5-10 at B&Q, so it's not that expensive. Okay, this has a bigger pot. Right now I'm trying to save it, but I don't think it's gonna work out. So yeah, that's my gardening tip for today. If you want to grow tomatoes, you can grow it in a bucket. Let's see, like these ones. But remember to put one tomato plant per bucket, because if you put 2 tomato plants per bucket, it's gonna look like this. So yeah. And also, by the way, about the legality of growing tobacco in UK, you can grow tobacco as long as you don't grow it commercially, and it's for personal consumption. I don't smoke, so probably when it's gonna dry out, I'm gonna throw away the plant and plant another one, because tobacco makes a beautiful ornamental plant. Alright, this is the video for today, so take care guys. Oh yeah, by the way, I have some roses as well.